The rematch is set. Usyk wants to silence all doubt. Dubois wants redemption. But who really holds the edge this time? The master technician or the man with nothing to lose? Let's break it down. The low blow controversy from their first fight still lingers, and Tony Bellew knows exactly what fans are questioning heading into the rematch.
Do you know what he's got to prove? He's got to prove, and I don't believe this, by the way, but I know a lot of fans, and I get stopped all the time about that shot.
Yeah.
Is it low? Is it? He's got to prove that he can take whatever Daniel Dubois throws at him and basically get rid of him again.
For Bellew, Usyk doesn't just need to win, he needs to shut the debate down once and for all. Meanwhile, Sune K questions the Dubois hype heading into the rematch, pointing out that he clearly lost every round in the first fight and only found hope in a controversial low blow. Now, with public support behind him, expectations are high. And with that, K says, comes serious pressure to deliver.
Yeah. Essentially, he lost every round, our man, in the first fight, and the only glimpse of hope that he had was that low blow, which I think was a low blow. So, yes, he's coming into this. He's got everything to prove. And also, he's got a lot to prove because everyone's so high on him now. No one's ever been this high on Danny Dubois after his
He's a better fighter now than he was then.
Yeah,
he's better for the experience.
3 good wins, and he's coming in this the main man. So a lot of people are expecting him to win. So.
From losing every round to being the favorite, Dubois has momentum, but with that comes real pressure. This time, there are no second chances. Tony Bellew believes Dubois is walking back into the fire, not just to fight Usyk, but to confront the demons from their first clash. He acknowledges that mentally, Dubois is in a better place now, but whether that's enough to change the outcome remains to be seen.
Daniel Dubois has got a lot of demons to revisit, and he's going to revisit them in this fight. I think he's in a different place mentally now than he was before the first fight. I don't want to say he's grown up and mature, because I think he's the same fighter as he was. It's just his mental approach is going to have to be different.
For Bellew, this fight isn't about Usyk. It's about whether Dubois can overcome what once broke him. Usyk's already proven everything. Dubois still has something to answer. Bellew respects Usyk's resume and sees no questions left around the Ukrainian's legacy. But Dubois, he says, has taken the long road, and that journey may be what makes him dangerous now.
Oleksandr Usyk cannot be questioned in any way, shape or form, whether it's going to your backyard, whether it's can he do this, he's ticked every box he's ever came across. Our man here, Daniel Dubois, hasn't, but of recent has. So we've seen him do the wrong things in the past. We've seen him take a knee, whatever have you. But the best way to explain Daniel Dubois is he's a 27-year-old veteran. He's experienced everything the boxing can throw at him. He's been dropped, he's been down, he's been stopped, and he's found a way back. And he's now on the back of his biggest ever victories. He's on his best ever run. You know, the victory over AJ was something else.
Dubois has faced it all, setbacks, doubt, and failure. But Bellew sees a man who's come through it stronger and who might just be peaking at the perfect time. Adam Smith admits most people saw this rematch as a replay of the first fight, but after big wins against Miller, Hrgovic, and especially Joshua, Dubois has shifted the narrative. Smith believes Dubois is now in the best form of his career, and that changes things.
I think when the fight was first announced, most thought Usyk would just repeat the feat that he did in Poland. Obviously, Dubois got momentum with those wins over Miller and Hrgovic, and of course AJ at Wembley, where people were worried whether he'd freeze. And in front of 96,000, he dismantled Joshua. So he could be in no better form.
For Smith, this isn't the same Dubois who faced Usyk last time. This version is confident, proven under pressure, and entering the ring with real belief. But Smith also raises a red flag: inactivity. While Dubois has form, he hasn't fought since Wembley, and against someone as sharp as Usyk, that could be costly.
I would have liked him to have fought in February when he was going to fight Joseph Parker. I think that lack of ring time might be problematic come the Usyk fight. I don't think there'll be any decline from Usyk. I think he's got heavy hands, Dubois, and he'll go for it, and I think he'll always be dangerous while he's there. I just wonder if Usyk will be slightly too clever still. I don't know. Look, the gap has definitely closed. Usyk is getting older. Dubois is getting better.
Smith doesn't doubt Dubois' improvements, but he knows Usyk's skill level remains elite, and unless Dubois lands something big, Smith hints the same result could be on the cards. Still, Smith believes there's a real threat lurking. Dubois' power. He won't outbox Usyk, but if he can hurt him, everything changes. And the controversial body shot from the first fight still lingers in Dubois' mind.
There's no way that he can outbox Oleksandr Usyk round after round, but can he punch through him? There's a possibility, and that's where the jeopardy is. And of course, he'll have the home crowd. He's got nothing to lose. I think people expect Usyk as this sort of unbeatable force, but the legs will go at some stage, and that low blow, whether it was, whether it wasn't, is long gone now, but it will give Dubois confidence that he can work the Usyk body, and if he can get to him, he can hurt him, and then it'll be very, very interesting.
Smith sees a narrow but dangerous path to victory for Dubois. Pressure, body shots, and big moments. If he can stay close and land heavy, this fight might not be as one-sided as many expect. Teddy Atlas reflects on Daniel Dubois' journey, not just in terms of wins and losses, but in character and growth. He's long been vocal about the mental toughness required to become a true champion, and for him, Dubois once lacked that edge. But something has changed, and Atlas sees a shift that matters more than just technique or power.
For everything he represents for his country, to fight through what I said that he fought through. I love Dubois because he's a great story for people that have been down, that you can get up. Don't give up on yourself. You can find redemption. You can turn it around. He is a great example. But Usyk, I would have loved to see him walk off into the sunset after the last Fury fight. He's getting older. He's been in a lot of tough fights. He had hundreds of amateur fights.
Atlas points to the setbacks, the Joyce loss, the controversial Usyk moment as evidence of Dubois' earlier mental cracks. But more importantly, he credits Dubois for bouncing back stronger, taking on difficult challenges, and finding redemption through grit. To Atlas, that's what makes him dangerous now. He's been humbled, and he's rebuilt from it. Still, Atlas isn't rushing to crown Dubois just yet. He respects the transformation, but remains grounded in his admiration for Usyk's consistency and elite ring IQ. Even with all of Dubois' evolution, Atlas warns that Usyk is still the man to beat, and for good reason.
Dubois has found himself. He's a different fighter. He's a different animal now. Anyone who thinks that it's the same fight, they're wrong. I can't go against Usyk. I can't. Because the guy, his greatest strength is he always finds a way to win. Always.
Atlas sees Dubois as more dangerous than ever, more confident, more focused, and fully aware of what's at stake. But Usyk, in his eyes, is a master of adaptation. No matter the challenge, Usyk finds solutions in real time. And that's what makes picking against him so hard, even when the opponent looks reborn. Frank Warren puts the magnitude of this rematch into perspective. Beyond belts and headlines, he sees it as a historic moment, not just for Dubois, but for British boxing as a whole. For Warren, the stakes are clear. This is more than a fight. It's a chance to rewrite history.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a great fight. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's historical. First time ever the four belts have been contested for in the UK. And it's a big chance for Daniel to, make his mark in the world of boxing, and certainly in British sport, by being the first Brit to ever hold the four belts. So it'd be a magnificent achievement for him and for British boxing.
Warren knows exactly what this moment could mean for Dubois' career, for the fans, and for the record books. It's a legacy-defining opportunity, and he believes Dubois has matured into the kind of fighter who can rise to it. Still, Warren knows this fight won't be won on hype alone. Both camps have shown serious discipline in camp, and he's been keeping a close eye on preparations from both sides. This, in his view, is the most focused and dialed-in version of Dubois yet.
It's just been everything's online and on and on point. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that continues that way. But I'm also hearing, from Usyk's camp that they're doing well as well. I mean, he's a consummate professional, so these guys are going to be well prepared, and they know both know they're in the fight of their life.
Warren respects what Usyk brings, the professionalism, the preparation, the mindset, but he's equally confident in Dubois. Both men know the size of the moment, and neither is treating it like just another fight. For Warren, that's what makes this matchup so dangerous. Two fully prepared fighters walking into the biggest fight of their lives. Daniel Dubois hasn't let the controversy from the first fight go. He still stands firm in his belief that the shot he landed to Usyk's body, the one ruled a low blow, blow was perfectly legal. For Dubois, that moment wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was the moment he believes he had the unified champion beat.
I thought it landed precise. We worked on that shot over for a long time in camp, so we pulled it off, and yeah, I feel like they robbed me out of that.
Yeah, you feel like you're robbed from a victory?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it a weakness? Does he have a weakness to the body, Usyk? I hear people talking about it all the time. He still hasn't been beat, but
yeah.
Is there a weakness there?
There might be. I think he's been down a few times with body shots, so yeah, there's definitely. This time I got to throw this kitchen sink at him, land everywhere.
Dubois isn't dwelling on the past, he's using it as fuel. That moment still motivates him, and this time, he says there will be no hesitation. He's not just aiming to land one shot, he's planning to throw everything he has at Usyk. In his mind, he already proved he can hurt the champion. Now, he wants to finish what he started. After the first Usyk fight, many questioned whether Dubois had the mindset to compete at the top level, but 4 fights later, Dubois believes he's done more than just bounce back. He's evolved. For him, this rematch isn't just a second chance, it's his moment to erase the doubt and prove who he really is.
I'll get a chance to rectify that, put that controversy to bed and, wipe the set clean, so that's what I'm focused on now. We practiced in the gym, I pulled it off, so in my opinion, it was a knockout. That was 4 fights ago now. I feel like even that fight and the training camp I did for that fight helped me massively over the next 3 fights I had after that. So I feel like I'm a better fighter now, more improved, more conditioned, and ready to just be an even better version, a better soldier, and just go to war.
For Dubois, it's not just about proving something to fans, it's about proving it to himself. He credits that controversial loss as the catalyst for his recent improvements. Every tough fight since then has been part of a transformation. Now he says he's ready, not just to fight, but to win a war. Dubois knows many people still expect a repeat of the first outcome, but he warns that if anyone's preparing for the same old Daniel Dubois, they're in for a surprise. In his eyes, everything has changed, especially his trust in himself.
I believe it's going to be totally different. If the people thinking that that's going to be the same thing, then they're in for a shock, a surprise, even their team. So, I can't wait. I'm knowing myself better. I'm trusting myself better as a fighter. So, yeah, can't wait to get in there.
This isn't just a rematch for Dubois, it's a new beginning. He talks about self-belief, trust, and clarity, things that were missing the first time. He's convinced that version of himself is gone, and what's walking into the ring this time is someone who's finally ready to take control of his story. As the rematch approaches, the big question for many fans is where Daniel Dubois ranks among the elite fighters Oleksandr Usyk has faced. From unified champions to power punchers, Usyk has shared the ring with some of the very best. So when he was asked to rank his toughest opponents, his answer was telling, and it shows how much Dubois has grown since their first meeting.
Listen, Daniel now is a world champion. Yeah. For me, first it's Tyson Fury, second Anthony Joshua, and then is Daniel Dubois.
And do you think this Dubois is a much better Daniel Dubois than the first one you fought?
I have no idea. Now Dubois world champion. Yeah, a little bit better.
Usyk isn't quick to give away compliments, but placing Dubois right behind Fury and Joshua says a lot. Even if he's not fully convinced about the new Dubois just yet, he clearly sees him as a serious threat this time around. In the lead up to the rematch, Tony Bellew shared his thoughts on Daniel Dubois' improvement and the challenge he faces against Oleksandr Usyk. While Bellew gives Dubois credit for maturing, especially after fights like Jarrell Miller and Anthony Joshua, he makes it clear that Usyk is a completely different level.
You think we're seeing a different Daniel Dubois now, though?
Yeah, no, I do. I do think he's massively improved. I think he came of age against AJ.
Personality-wise, he's looking a bit more.
I just think, against Jarrell Miller, he's shown he can come through tough moments.
True.
Jarrell Miller wasn't active enough, and Jarrell Miller doesn't punch hard enough. He'll come across a completely different skill set than Oleksandr Usyk. You got to remember he's been in there with him already, and we all know what happened last time.
Yes, true.
Bellew respects the growth in Dubois, but isn't sugarcoating what's ahead. Experience matters, and he knows Usyk has a unique skill set that few can handle. Belleau didn't hold back when discussing the low blow debate from the first Usyk-Dubois fight. As someone who's fought Usyk himself, he firmly rejects the idea that Usyk cheated and says the shot was clearly low, regardless of edited replays or fan opinions.
I don't want to hear this stuff about low blows. It's called a protector for a reason. If you hit a protector, guess what? It's low.
Yeah.
The protector, as long as the protector's in the right place, where it always is with Usyk, you can do all your video editing you want. I've fought him, I know what he's like. The guy hasn't got a cheating bone in his body. The protector's always on point.
Yeah.
You do rise up in fights through no fault of their own, but ultimately that shot was low. I don't care what anyone says.
Bellew then shifts the focus to how the referee handled the moment and what could have happened if the call had gone differently.
Listen, I also believe that had the referee gone, that's good, he's getting up. He's played the shot.
Yeah, well,
and he's got every right to. Like I say, for me, it's low. But if that referee starts counting, he's up. Believe you me, because he ain't staying on the floor for no one.
No, fair
So
point.
I've seen him hit off better body shots.
Yeah.
You know, Artur Beterbiev in the amateurs catches him with an absolute monster of a body shot.
He firmed it.
But he gets up.
Yeah.
Because the boy's got no quitting him.
Bellew closes his point with respect for both fighters. He believes Dubois has heart and potential, but reminds everyone that Usyk is as tough and honest as they come. Chris Algieri sees the Usyk versus Dubois rematch as much more than just a sequel. He believes the narrative has completely flipped. When they first met, Dubois was seen as the underdog with questions surrounding his heart and durability. But since then, everything has changed. With major wins under his belt and a completely different aura, Dubois has rebuilt his name and reputation from the ground up.
But the narrative is much better for the Dubois rematch. You've got the fact that they fought, and then since then, Dubois has been on a tear, beating guys that he was the underdog against, Ergovich, and then Anthony Joshua, of course. You know, the guy has like really revamped his entire career, turned it around, gone from a guy that people saw as a quitter to being potentially the most dangerous man in the world. So you've got this narrative now that Dubois is a different guy. So this rematch will be different.
For Algieri, this isn't just a second chance for Dubois. It's a resurrection story. From being written off to now entering as a genuine threat, he believes the momentum and transformation make this rematch a true wild card and one of the most intriguing matchups in heavyweight boxing right now. Liam Smith doesn't sugarcoat the situation. If Daniel Dubois wants to win, he can't try to outbox a master technician like Usyk. Smith sees the matchup for what it is, a stylistic nightmare for any heavyweight trying to play the long game. In his view, Dubois doesn't have the luxury of patience or finesse. Trying to win on points against a fighter with Usyk's footwork, IQ, and experience is a losing strategy.
Usyk, yeah, can't look past Usyk.
What do you think Dubois got to do to have any chance of winning?
Rough him up, knock him flat out. I think you know he doesn't win on points, so I think he's got to rough him up, put him on him, show his size, show his strength, and I think he's got to nail Usyk to the floor.
For Smith, it's not about elegance, it's about chaos. He believes Dubois must force the pace early, impose his physicality, and drag Usyk into uncomfortable exchanges. This isn't a battle of moves, it's a test of who can survive the storm. Dubois' shot at glory, in Smith's eyes, depends on turning the ring into a war zone, not a chessboard. The old Dubois came to fight, this one's coming to conquer. There's a quiet fire behind his words, not born of arrogance, but of experience. With a calm, focused demeanor, Dubois sees July 19th not as the final chapter, but the start of something greater.
That just hyped me up, and, you know, I want to do, you know, it's just been a building process, so here we are now. I get to choose now. Do I want to go further than that? And I do, you know. Get all the belts.
Dubois reflects on everything that led him here. The setbacks, the lessons, the growth. Now, with momentum and belief on his side, he feels in control of his destiny. For him, this fight isn't just about beating Usyk. It's about pushing beyond past limits and claiming it all. Every belt, every ounce of glory, every bit of respect. He's not asking for it anymore. He's ready to take it. The fire is lit, and he's all in. This fight is going to be a war. Usyk has the experience, the footwork, and the ring IQ, but Dubois has something burning deeper this time. Hunger, belief, and nothing to lose. If he sticks to his plan, controls the pace, and unleashes that power with precision, we might witness one of boxing's biggest upsets in recent years. So, What do you think about this fight? Do you think Daniel Dubois can shock the world and stop Usyk? What's your prediction for how this fight ends? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more fight previews, breakdowns, and post-fight reactions just like this.